Hey guys, welcome to Sing Like a Native. I'm Abby Lewis, and today in the studio I have Ben T. Kadar. Is that how you pronounce
Hi
your?
guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I pronounce it.
So he is a singer, songwriter, and producer local to Budapest, Hungary. He's Hungarian, but he learned English extremely well, writes lyrics, is a very talented singer, songwriter. So I wanted to have him in today to just do an interview and talk about how he got started. So yeah, great to have you here.
Thanks, Abby. It's great to be here as well.
So I guess something that I think would be really cool to know is like, how did you get started? How did you improve your English? Because you're one of my most advanced students,
Aw, flattered.
and you have such a great accent. Even with speaking, you sound like so authentic. How did you get started, both with learning, studying English, and combining that with music?
Well, I wanted to point out the fact that I wasn't good at English when I started learning it. I'd say I was mediocre at first. Like when I started out learning the language, I was struggling a bit, mostly because of the grammar part, and then later it was the first year of high school, I guess, when it kind of flipped. So I was like, okay, I'm getting the hang of this. This whole speaking another language just got a bit easier. And I remember I wanted to get ready for my first English exam. So a friend in my family, she lived nearby, and her husband is from New York. And we called them if I can come over and learn from them, and we could talk. I could study at their place and stuff like that. And that's how I got ready for my first exam. And then I think I just started watching series and movies with English subtitles on. Yeah, I kind of just got used to it, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how long have you been writing songs? And have you always written in English, or do you also write in Hungarian?
When I started writing songs, I remember that I started out with writing lyrics, and my first couple of lyrics were in Hungarian, but I never got to the point when I don't know, like made a chord progression and started singing those lyrics on him and stuff like that. The first time I got to that point, I was doing it in English. I was part of this band, Risk of Falling. It was like a strange kind of drum and bass, electronic rock vibe or something like that. And I remember starting out like writing backing tracks. I was like, guys, we need to find a producer because I don't want to do this like on a long term. I tried to do like backing tracks for the band. I wrote the lyrics for the songs. I remember listening to the demos that we did and listening to my English. I think I just did it like a couple of weeks ago, and it was funny.
Really?
It was really funny because so it doesn't sound like me right now at all. But yeah, I think it was like 5 or 6 years ago when I started writing in English. Yeah.
What do you think are some things that helped you improve?
One is definitely the internet. I remember I liked playing video games a lot when I was a kid, and I had to understand a lot. I remember there were these Hungarian conversions for some of the games, and sometimes they didn't have that, so I had to learn to understand what's going on. Especially when you're online and you're playing with others, you have to know how to talk to others, stuff like that. And also the series and the movies. And when I moved to Budapest, I started working with a lot of foreigners in music. I had to be fluent. I had to be productive, and I felt like conversation and to make yourself understand while doing music with others is very important. To be honest, I enjoyed getting better at it. It kind of drove me to learn more. I remember talking with the subtitles while watching Netflix and stuff like that.
That's a
Yeah.
good tip.
Yeah, I think
It's a good practice
it's a
tip.
great thing to like watch something, have the subtitles, and just stop the whole thing after a sentence and just repeat it. I'm doing voice acting in Hungarian. I do voice dubs in Hungarian, and because of that, I was like, what if I want to do the same thing in English? Like if I improve myself in a way, especially learning from actors from a series, like repeating the sentences, stuff like that. Not even the acting part, but the pronunciation part and stuff. So that's something that I did a lot.
That is a really good tip because I always encourage people to watch everything and listen to everything in English. Like if you want to become fluent, if you want a good accent, you really need to be like watching series in English, like challenging yourself to learn new things in English. Like you want to look up how to do something, try looking it up in English, you know? So this is a tip I give a lot, but actually repeating the subtitles as you watch series and videos is not something I've thought of before. So that's actually a really great tip.
Yeah, because you have a reference just a couple of seconds before you do it, and it's pretty fresh. But seriously, guys, do not watch Train Spotting without subtitles.
Oh no!
Don't try it. I tried it once.
Really?
And yeah, I didn't realize it was English, to be honest.
No way.
Yeah. I just don't like. I was trying out different accents. Like, does it? I don't know, click for me or something like that. And most of the times I understand them, but something about like the Glasgow Scottish accent, it kind of it doesn't. I don't really understand it sometimes.
Yeah, that's even hard for me.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I can get that. So you started out doing kind of the band thing, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't have a solo act in the beginning.
Yeah.
But how long have you been making music as Ben T. Kadar?
The first couple of songs that I knew I wanted to put out as a solo artist, I think I wrote those songs in 2016, and most of those songs, they never seen the light of day. Some of them did. I remember writing a song and I just let go of it, and I started writing another song a couple of years later, and I remembered this one song that I let go of, and I put like the verse and the chorus of this idea and that idea together, and they kind of fit. I had these situations when I started building like a Lego house, and I feel like I want to stop at one point because I don't know how to continue, and I don't want to force myself to continue. I don't like the feeling when I feel like I'm sweating in a songwriting session. Like if we're working on a song and you need to find ideas and you're working, it's fine. But if it's so much struggle, then I just stop, I let it go, and I might go back to it once or not. And sometimes I have these things like two songs fitting together like a Lego piece. And that's the same thing with lyrics as well sometimes. I had this song on my debut album, Beautiful Strangers, and I remember that the verse and the chorus were two different things in my mind for a while, and I just put them together, and I was like, this makes a lot of sense together. Like, I want to have this song like this because it feels like a whole for me. What made me do a solo thing is that first I wanted to be responsible for my own music. Like, I wanted to be the guy in charge. Like, I knew that I can make compromises for sure, but I always wanted to have a project where I don't have to do it that much. Like if I have a vision of what I want to do, I can make it happen. And yeah, so when I started my own project, the most serious start was in 2018. So I was like, it was 2 years of trying to write songs, not doing a lot with them. But in 2018, I started working on the songs of the album, which you are familiar with.
Yes.
Yeah, because you were checking out all the lyrics. So that's how it came to be. Like in 2019, we started producing it. And in 2020, in January, just before lockdown, it came out.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you also release singles too, right? So you released an album.
Sometimes, yeah.
You released some singles. You have some collabs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So guys, I think you should check out his music. He's really talented. He's a great example of someone who their second language is English. It's not his first language, but he was able to improve to a point where he can make that his own. He can write confidently. He can sing confidently. So Ben T. Kadar, I'm going to link all his info down in the description. So we're going to ask a few more questions. I just wanted to stop and encourage you guys. Check out his music. It's going to be in the description. I guess a few more of my questions would be like, do you feel like having that strong foundation of just the spoken language, was that kind of like what you needed to get started writing lyrics, or did it all kind of happen at the same time?
For me, it was like I did musical theater here in Budapest, and everything that we did was in Hungarian. and we are, as artists here in Hungary, are encouraged to write in Hungarian. I always felt that I was missing something when I want to do it. So the kind of music that I do, the kind of way that I like to sing and to write, it's not really authentic if I want to do it in Hungarian.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of felt like if I want to have the freedom of doing it happily and freely, I had to do it in English. I think I got to a point when I realized that not everybody here are gonna listen to that, because there are a lot of international artists on the market right now who are big in Hungary as well. There are not a lot of Hungarian acts that are big with singing in English, or just not Hungarian at all.
Yeah.
But I kind of felt like that's how I could do it, like, authentically. That's how I can reach a point where I can say, like, okay, if I put this out on the market, like, I don't really care where it's gonna land locally, if people are gonna like it, because it's honest, because it's something that I want. I like working with Hungarian as a language in different scenarios, like acting, voice dub, stuff like that. I do love my mother tongue, but in music, English is something different. Like, for me, singing in English, it has a more fluid feeling to it in songwriting and singing than Hungarian. And it's a good mixture of, like, tone and words and how it makes you feel. In Hungarian, it's mostly like words. The words you sing are gonna make people feel something. In English, it's a mix, like, yeah, the words are important and the sound is important together, how you do that. I kind of love doing that. That's why I chose English.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point that actually supports some stuff I'm going to talk about in some other videos about songwriting in English. That's something I've noticed too about the Hungarian language, is that the words themselves are what make up the song and give the emotion. And yeah, there is a lot of freedom in English in that sense of being able to play around with tone and with melodies, and maybe the word is really simple, but the way you perform it causes, like, a huge emotion in somebody. The music that's considered, like, super good Hungarian music is that, like, extremely poetic, or makes you think, or like
makes you want to sing it back in a way, like yeah. I think both of them are good. You really want to consider what you want to do. Just, I would encourage people who do music not to do it in a market point of view. Like do what you want to do, and I'm pretty sure that you're gonna find the right people who will listen to it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've even heard Hungarian songs that I feel like would be in, like, and are international successes, because the song itself is just so beautiful and so well done. Even if somebody listens to it and they don't understand everything, or don't understand anything, because they don't know any Hungarian at all. But it is possible, if that's your thing, if that's what is, like, you know, you are so passionate about making music that way, then it's going to be a success because of that. Not because, oh, I sing in English, I sing in Hungarian, but because you're doing something authentic. Something that you believe in, that you're passionate about. You're not trying to be someone else. You're not trying to force something that feels unnatural to you. So yeah.
A lot of people who are not native English speakers are afraid of not getting there. Like how am I gonna get there? Get to a point when I sing in English, when I talk in English, and people are gonna be like, oh my God, you're so good at it. You know, like, I think flaws could be beautiful as well.
Definitely.
Talking, you don't have to, like, erase them all, but it's up to you. like you know, it's like, of course there are flaws that you want to correct and you want to learn how not to, but I kind of feel like in singing, songwriting, talking, and being like a walk-in brand. That's not a word that I like using, but that's the truth. Like, as a brand yourself, these little flaws, I think it can be authentic and make it beautiful as well.
Definitely. Yeah, actually, going along with that, when I first came to Hungary, I was so determined, and I think this happens to a lot of people who move to the States as well, or to some English-speaking country. I was so determined to become a chameleon, and just totally, like, I wanted to get to the point where people think I'm Hungarian. They don't even know I'm American, because I want to fit in, and I really want to master the language. I really want to master the culture. And I had another American who had lived here a while be like, Abby, you don't need to do that. You don't need to lose who you are and reject your roots and where you come from. Like, learning another language and living in another culture is not about you abandoning who you were in your home culture. It's not about you abandoning your home, your mother tongue, yourself as you are born natively in your own country. It's not about that. It's about taking the two and making this beautiful mosaic and becoming more from that, not replacing yourself with this new version, not trying to be a copycat, which is something else I talk about a lot. Like, even though I'm teaching you guys how to pronounce English and sing English authentically and well, and sing like a native, as the channel is called, even though I'm encouraging you and helping you do that, but in that, I don't want you to lose yourselves. I don't want you to be a copycat. I don't want you to be the next Lady Gaga or Katy Perry or Ed Sheeran or whoever. That's not the goal. The goal is to be yourself and to be the best version of that in your second language, and to bring those two beautiful things together of having a second language, being able to create in that, but not losing who you are and not losing your roots. And I think Ben does a great job at that, and he's a great example. And he's not afraid, to like make music in English and not sound, American, or not sound this way or that way, because he's himself, and that's how he creates. And that's super cool. I would encourage any of you watching to be just as confident and do the same thing. Yeah. And another question I have is, like, who are your main influences? Like, who are some artists that you feel like really helped you to figure out, what style you want to go for?
First, like, I started out as some sort of a metalhead. So like when I was 14, I was listening to a lot of metal bands. I was listening to System of a Down, and yeah, they're American, but they're not, like, they're Armenian. Having different artists with different origins, with different roots, singing in English, kind of like, like making it in English. It's really like encouraging. And lately I was listening to a lot of Joji songs, because I like experimenting with lo-fi, but also I like experimenting lo-fi with and a beat and stuff like that. And lately, my latest songs from the latest EP, one of my strongest influences were Oliver Tree and Joji. And Joji is a Japanese singer, songwriter, producer, and he's really good in English as well. And as I was listening to him doing interviews, concerts, putting out songs, stuff like that, I was encouraged, like, I'd be able to do that as well. If you have the factor, like you have the English, the speaking factor, like you're good at it. The next thing that would be interesting is putting your cultural background behind it. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Like once you like, I know that I saw a video with him as he was trying out and showing Japanese snacks and stuff like that, and I'm like, well, it's fun. Like, if you go to the US and you kind of known or something, or people are, I don't even think that you have to be known. If you have a group of people who are interested, I think to have a confident knowledge of the language can make you give like a very authentic and detailed description of your background. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Like you give like you can show a lot of things, a lot of cultural things that's in your background. I think English is a great language in this way of like connecting us.
Yeah.
And the better you know it, the more detailed version you can give from of yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I like that perspective a lot. So where can people find out about your next shows, like upcoming shows?
Facebook page probably, and Instagram. I'm more active on Instagram, mostly in stories than on Facebook. If you follow me on socials, then you're probably gonna know where I'm gonna perform.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming today, Ben.
Abby.
I hope this was encouraging for you guys. As some of you starting out experimenting with songwriting or singing in English, or maybe you've been doing it a while and you just need some confidence because maybe you've had some bad experiences, maybe you feel stuck. I hope this encouraged you to have an example of someone who's doing it, and he's not worrying about, what people think or if he's sounding native enough or not. He's just doing it. And from all that, like, creativity and all that momentum, he's just improving his craft as he goes, like all of us should be. And he didn't let anyone tell him what he can and can't do. And so that's super cool. I'm really inspired by you, Ben, and I'm really, really grateful to have you here. And so check out his music, you guys. I'm linking everything in the description. Follow him on Instagram, follow him on Facebook. If you are in Budapest, either visiting or you live here, please go to his shows. You will not regret it. It's an amazing experience. And so we will see you next time in the next video. Bye.